Good evening, my loyal plebs. Here, listen, you'll never guess who one bumped into at the Nag's Head the other day. That's right, it was that prize twunk Boris Johnson. He says to one, he says, "All right, ma'am, how's it going?" So I says to him, I says, "Don't beat about the bush, you prize muppet, I know you want something." Then he gives that stupid bumbling laugh and starts to get all twitchy. "Hello," one says to oneself, "there's something fishy going on here. Come on, cough it up," one says. "Don't be a plonker all your life." He starts rattling on about Brexit again like he always does, something about if I let him form a government he will see Brexit through, deal or no deal kind of thing. "Why should I let a plonker like you form a government?" one says. One does hate the way these Eton types feel so entitled, so one made him sweat a bit. "Ma'am," he says, "if you let me form a government this whole Brexit fiasco will be over before you can say Kaiser's your uncle. Look at it this way," he says, "you get to put your feet up whilst I pop round now and then. See how you're keeping, put the kettle on, have a nice chin wag for half an hour, and I get to be Prime Minister. How does that sound?" "What's the catch?" one says. "Catch," he says. "Look at me. Do I seem the kind of person who would try to hoodwink you?" "Gordon Bennett," he says, "you can trust me, you know it makes sense." "You sure?" one says. "Course I'm sure," he says. "But there's just one little thing." "Bleeding heck," one says, "I knew it." No, he goes on. Listen. I may just have to pull a rogue parliament for a while, just to give the cleaners 6 weeks to get the place spick and span for our new government. Nothing untoward or nothing. Not to stop MPs voting on Brexit or anything like that. "Are you sure?" one says. "Course I'm sure, you're Marge," he says. "You know it makes sense." So, to cut a long story short, I let the little tirag form a government. But I don't trust that Boris Johnson. There's something slippery about him. You mark my words though, if he is pulling the wool over my eyes, he better not go speeding through any tunnels in Paris. That's all I'm saying. Fita can plan, as the French say. Night, my loyal underlings, and don't have nightmares.